Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, possible changes to the current military arsenal, and just how easy is it to install a DIY trigger. We'll have your range reports and more. Call in now, 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
It's Memorial Day weekend. Welcome. I'm Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. Memorial Day weekend. Not happy Memorial Day. We don't celebrate Memorial Day. We observe. We remember those who have died in the service of the country, military service of the country. I would just ask you to take a moment to remember those who have, in fact, served and fallen while in the service of the country. Yeah, you might even want to, at least in my mind, and look, I know there are formal guidelines. I'm thinking about yesterday in Mississippi. The deputy sheriff, along with 7 others, murdered by crazy guy. Wanted to do suicide by cop, but he killed 8 people, and then he ended up getting killed himself. I always like to offer a suggestion for those who want to do a murder-suicide. Start with a suicide. Just go ahead and get that out of the way, and then work. Oh, wait, yeah, that doesn't work, huh? Just a thought for you. And I was thinking about this and trying to figure out how to position it because we, this next week, I hope you have seen the announcements. We are releasing the next batch of first-person defender videos. We'll have them on our YouTube channel and on Roku and Amazon Fire and Apple TV. First-person defender, where we take regular people and put them into a self-defense scenario, a situation, see how they react. How they react, unless they have the right kind of training. I was going to say a lot of training, but that's not correct. The right kind of training. They react badly. They do the wrong thing over and over again. It is completely predictable, completely repeatable. And if you are one of those people who have not gone to real fighting school, not a shooting school, a fighting school, you too will react incorrectly and badly. Just a thought for you there. As I think about that, crazy's everywhere. Crazy comes to visit. Crazy just comes around the corner, never announces that it's going to be there. Crazy and evil may be connected, but they don't have to be. I guess the real question is, what are you going to do when crazy shows up? What are you going to do? Oh, I don't want to think about that. Yeah, I know. I know. You don't want to think about that. You know, it's something that I do want to talk about. We'll get into that a bit later because I want to discuss the whole idea of what are your responsibilities to yourself, to your family, to the people around you, to intervene to help. Do you have responsibilities along those lines? We're talking about Memorial Day weekend, and we thought we would at least talk a bit about the military and what's going on right now. Right now joining me is Christian Lowe. He is the editorial director at We Are the Mighty. That's wearethemighty.com. Christian, thanks for joining us.
Tom, thanks so much. It's great to talk with you again.
Absolutely. So explain for people what We Are the Mighty is.
You know, it's unlike any organization I've ever worked with before. I've been a military journalist for 20 years and been to Afghanistan and Iraq and all over the world and worked primarily for newspapers and websites and that sort of thing. But this is a very unique company. It's a military media company based in Hollywood, California, and it's really built around providing entertainment, information, speaking to the younger military veteran and active duty, and also family member and loved ones. And it's a great organization that sort of brings together the power of storytelling that's out in Hollywood and the voice of today's military. And it's a cool opportunity, and it's a cool organization to be working with, particularly on a day like this. I just took a break from attending the GI Film Festival here in Washington. I'm based in Washington, and to see young filmmakers with their military experience and combat experience and translate those into storytelling on the screen is it's just a cool thing to see and a great opportunity.
Let me ask you something. With your background, your experience, both in media and in military, is there something that you would just comes top of mind that the American public doesn't know or understand or fully appreciate about military service?
What about military service?
Just anything about military service. Is there anything they don't understand about it or appreciate?
I approach it from a different perspective. I mean, I've had the great fortune and opportunity. Look, I started covering the military 20 years ago, before 9/11, and I have seen the military through sort of the pre-9/11 period, and then after, and now sort of a post-9/11 period where we're sort of transitioning our military and our thought about the military into a new sort of global way. And I think one of the things that I think that the American public seems to miss about the military is, that the strength of service, the camaraderie that comes with service, the benefits that people get from service. And I don't mean benefits like education benefits and things like that. I mean building their personality and building a network of people that will always be, part of their lives, and the importance of that these days in a very dispersed society, where social media kind of isolates us a little bit. I think the American people tend to forget, or most people tend to forget, those strong bonds that are formed and how much of an advantage that is going forward. I mean, I work with a lot of veterans at my company, and to be a part of that and to be included in that is something I think that a lot of people miss.
What are you guys doing at We Are the Mighty relative to Memorial Day?
We're doing, obviously, we have a huge audience on Facebook. That's our primary platform, and we're telling stories about Memorial Day. We're doing some projects around Memorial Day, like attending and covering and talking with a lot of the veterans here at the GI Film Festival. But one of the things that it's a nuanced thing, but a lot of the veterans that I work with and that I know, they really feel like this is a day for them, and that they want to remember those who have fallen and who came before them. And it's not like we have a huge celebration or something like that at the company, but we do want to make sure that everyone remembers that we remember, and that they can enjoy the day and remember those who came before them.
Excellent. And those who want to keep up with what's going on in the military and news and things that are happening, whether it's armament or just stories coming out, they can. We Are the Mighty is a good place to go to find out what's going on these days.
Yeah, it's fun, and we also like to take a trip down memory lane too. We have a lot of great stories of heroes and nostalgia and what makes the military great. It's all part of what we bring to the table.
There you go, on Facebook and wearethemighty.com. Christian, thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, take care. All right, 866-TALK-GUN is the number here. Someone that you'd like to call in and maybe remember someone who's fallen in military service, by all means, give us a holler. It's just call Tom Talk Gun. Also, when we come back, we'll be talking about when crazy comes to visit, will you be ready? I'm Tom Gresham.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition, and homes around the world. One name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime, setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
Back at the 866 Talk Gun get you in, or you just want to do it the easy way, call Tom Talk Gun. Pretty much open lines. If there's a range report you'd like to offer, a gun that you have purchased recently or you're thinking about getting, by all means give us a holler. Also, if there's somebody you just like to remember among the military's fallen, lines are open for that too. You can share. Got an email. One of our listeners, one of our callers, he said, first of all, he said, thank you most sincerely for the gift of the American-made Gun Talk hat. Yeah, we try to do that when we spec them out. Yeah, if you'd like one of those, you can just go to shopguntalk.com. He says, I'm writing for that and some other stuff. He said, but I'm writing for another purpose, more significant and substantial. Texas Bill 16, reducing our cost of a license to carry from the outrageous amount of $140 with $70 renewals to an affordable and flat $40 across the board is now law. As you've stated numerous times over the years, we must get involved personally to change the laws restraining and restricting our God-given constitutionally protected Second Amendment. He says, I drove from Austin. Now listen to this. I drove from Austin to Corpus Christi on March 20th to address our state senators on SB 16 directly. As of yesterday, our governor, Greg Abbott, signed it into law effective September 1st. From my wheelchair, I gave testimony to the fact that myself and thousands of Texans like me simply haven't the financial means to pull the exorbitant tax from our budgets, mine of Social Security disability being only $700 per month, in order to satisfy the state fee to defend ourselves legally. And I was heard. He goes on, he's got a video record of it, a link. But he wraps it up, he just says, wanted to thank me for motivating him to get off his duff and start taking action above and beyond our memberships in the NRA and the Texas Rifle Association. Well, Benny, let me just throw this out. No, thank you, sir. All I do is just sit here and I'm a wind-up parrot. You got off your duff. You drove to the state capitol. You got into the Capitol building in your wheelchair. You signed up to give testimony. You showed up. You showed up. That's what we got to do. People, I don't know how many ways I can put it or how many times we can talk about it, but we're in a war. Actually, we're in a lot of battles, but it all makes up one war. You look at what happened in Manchester, that's a war. And here's the thing. People say, oh, yeah, that's isolated. No, actually, if you start paying attention, you start doing your research, you will find that it happens every week. There's a bombing or an attack like that every week somewhere. And in the U.S., San Bernardino, terrorist attack. Fort Hood, terrorist attack. Navy Yard, terrorist attack. On and on and on. Oh, well, no, there's no oh, well. Terrorist attacks here. And then there's a subject of just pure crazy. Crazy's everywhere. Man, I'm telling you, crazy is nutso. Crazy is people driving their cars and cutting you off and being offended because they thought you were driving too slow, and that's some kind of a personal affront to them, and so they're going to go smash your car or beat your car or break in the windows and reach in there and grab you or take a tire iron to you. Crazy is pervasive and prevalent. Crazy's everywhere. I would offer the first thing you have to do is come to grips with that concept. Embrace it and go, yep, there's a lot of crazy out there. And that's a funny line. We all go, oh, yeah, a lot of crazy out there. No, stop. No, seriously. You're going to come in contact with crazy this week. Crazy's going to drive right by you on the road. Crazy's going to walk past you on the sidewalk. Crazy's going to stand next to you in a checkout line. What are you going to go do when crazy turns violent? Because that's sometimes what crazy does. Crazy goes nutso on you. Crazy goes to what we categorize as evil. Crazies in Mississippi yesterday killed 8 people, including a deputy. What are you prepared to do? I had a thought after the Manchester bombing, and I'm as guilty as anybody else. Look, I get complacent. It's too heavy. It's too bulky. It's too much. It's not that I'm not carrying. I'm always carrying. But I don't carry everything I need. I don't carry that I should. So I got that trauma kit out again. That's why I wear those cargo pants. You could call them tactical pants if you want. I like to call them cargo pants, so I won't be called a tactical teddy, but that's a whole other thing. I got a little package. It's got gauze. It's got a tourniquet. It's got, a few little things. Goes into a little shrink-wrapped plastic bag. And it'll go into one of those pockets. It's not terribly bulky. Why would I need that? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Bomb goes off. Your loved one is bleeding. No. Your loved one is bleeding out. You got nothing. And belt ain't going to get it. If you think a belt will do it, you need to go take a little trauma class. And the thing is, those classes are just a day long. You can do that. You can go take an emergency trauma medicine class. It's basically airways and bleeding. It's really what it amounts to. How to take care of it. Because that will save somebody. Hold them until you can get them to the hospital. Airways and bleeding. Obviously cardiac, ABC. So maybe just a little bit trauma kit, maybe a little bit bigger one in your car, and of course the training on how to use it. In your car, it's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. I mean, even if it's just like this, you come up on a wreck and there are people hurt. I came up on a wreck this past week. Cars down in a ditch. Now, in this case, there were people all over and we're helping the people out. But I have come up on one in the middle of the night on a lonely road with 2 cars collided. And 2 young girls were dead. And one guy's over on the other side. I hear somebody saying, "Come on, damn it, breathe." It's been about 40 years. I'm still have trouble talking about this one. And I had just recently completed another CPR class for my scuba. And I went over and started working on this guy. I worked on him a long time. He didn't make it either. But the idea is this. Excuse me. This stuff happens all the time. Okay? Just does. Get prepared. Let me do this. I got time for this. Line 3, David's in Kansas City. David, I got a couple of minutes for you, and this is important. Please do it.
Yes, Tom. I just wanted to remember my little brother Doug, who died in a training accident, training to be a medic back in '73, and to the military escorts that we had running civilian convoys in Iraq for 2 years.
What branch of service was your brother in?
Army.
Okay. It's
he died in an accident at Fort Sam Houston while medic training.
We had I think it was 11 people, service people, died in a helicopter accident in this area about 3 years ago. Training, the training is dangerous. Yeah, the work's dangerous, the service is dangerous, the combat's dangerous, but a lot of stuff they do is dangerous. David, thank you. It's hard. It's a hell of a thing. It's just a hell of a thing for everybody involved. And yet you can take pride in your little brother, and we can take pride in all of them who have fallen in combat, in training, in service. If you have a story you want to share along those lines, by all means, give me a holler. If you have been, as I have been doing, kind of thinking again, revisiting the whole, however you phrase it, I call it when crazy comes to visit. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? What are you carrying? What's in your car? What's on your belt? What's in your pocket? Talk it through with me. Give me a holler. If you're not sure, call and ask me, and maybe we can come up with a plan that will help you. Number here is 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. Yeah, it's a lot to think about, but it is important stuff to think about.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Oh, we have so much to talk about. 866-TALK-GUN, that's how you get in on the conversation. Just give me a holler. Or just dial Tom Talk Gun. We, of course, are releasing first-person defender shows starting on Tuesday. One a day, all next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 of them right now. We'll have 8 more to release in the fall. If you've not seen them before, boy, let me just unabashedly tell you, you got to watch these. If you have, whether or not you carry a gun, if you just simply have a gun for self-defense in your car, in your home, or if you carry one, you need to watch these. And you need to have your family members watch these, because we drop people into these situations where it's a carjacking or a home invasion or an ATM robbery or a robbery at a store or a convenience store robbery or whatever, or 2 people are getting involved, are getting attacked or something in a parking lot, and you're walking by, do you get involved? And what it does is it puts into your head the what ifs, and what would I do, and how did this person do? How did this man do? How did this woman do? Oh, they screwed that up. Well, what should they have done? And you start the wheels turning. And you start the wheels turning, and you can't stop thinking about it. First Person Defender on YouTube, our Roku channel, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Look for Gun Talk on all those places. Line 2, Tim's with us out of Medford, Oregon. Hey, Tim, what's your question, sir?
My question is about the carry across state lines. I'm an interstate driver, and I have a concealed weapons permit. I want to make sure it's all right for me to carry my weapon across the state line into California or Washington or Idaho.
Probably not. And yeah, or probably yes. It depends on which direction you're going and what what state's carry permit you have. Here's the problem, and it is a serious problem. We're trying to work on it on a national level. Every time you cross a state line, the law changes. Now, your driver's license is good in all 50 states, but your carry permit is not. So when you cross the state line into California, your permit may not be honored there. When I go to Oregon, for instance, Oregon does not honor any other state's carry permits. So my permit is no good. There's no way for me to legally carry a gun in Oregon that I'm aware of. So what you have to do, and this puts the burden on you, and it's not fair and it's not right, is you have to do the research and know every state you're going into and what are the laws there, and is your permit good there? There's a website called handgunlaw.us. Again, it's singular, handgunlaw.us. And you can put in your state that tells you what permit or what states honor your permit. Do you have an Oregon permit, sir?
Yes, Oregon.
Okay. And I don't know offhand which states honor that, but if you'll do that, if you'll go to this handgunlaw.us, note that it's not .com, it's .us. You can put in Oregon. It'll tell you which states your permit's good for. It also will at least help you understand the changes in the law, because in one state you may be legal to conceal carry into a bar, for instance, or a restaurant that serves alcohol. In another state, that may be completely prohibited. And it's up to you to understand and know those laws. So it's a mess. And for a guy like you, you make your living crossing state lines, it's hard.
Yeah, my employer doesn't allow us to have firearms, but I know several drivers that do carry, but I carry when I go home. That's not an issue there when I go home and take my time off. But if it was legal for me to carry across the state lines, I might consider carrying one in here. But it's one of those, you do it if you're okay. If you don't do it, you may not be okay. It's a very scary world out here nowadays.
Yeah, well, it is. And, you've been put in this unconscionable situation where you have to choose between, do I put my job at risk or do I put my life at risk? And that's what your employer is telling you. Look, we don't want to take a chance on getting sued, so you have to risk getting killed so that we don't get sued. That's what they're saying. Our legal liability, our exposure here is worth more than your life.
Gunpoint 2 years ago at a truck stop in California. So It's like this is something that I wish I had my gun at the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I would suggest check out that website, handgunlaw.us, and also keep getting training. Once a year, you need at least a one-day class in gunfighting. And I'm not kidding. Once a year, everybody, those skills go away. In the meantime, make reading about this stuff and watching the first-person defender shows part of your ongoing weekly activity. Be careful out there, Tim. I appreciate the call. Robin is on line 3 out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and wants to know something about me. Hey, Robin, what you want to know?
Hey, I was wondering what you carried personally.
I'm probably the worst person in the world to pattern anything after. And here's the reason. I am always getting new guns and new holsters from people we work with. And so I may wear 2 or 3 different guns in a week, which is really the wrong thing to do. I mean, it's just not perfect. I mean, this week I had a single stack 9. I wore a double stack 9, and I wore a 7-shot 357 Magnum revolver for 2 days or 3 days. So, I mean, that doesn't help you a lot, I know.
Well, do you always carry in the same position, or do you rotate?
I usually carry in the same position. Usually I carry at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, right side, because I'm right-handed. But if I'm carrying a really small pistol like a Ruger LCP, I have a couple of pocket holsters that I like. I can slip them into a pocket in a holster and can carry that way if need be. What I have found, and this is why you have to experiment, and why some people say, well, I just can't carry. It's just not comfortable. I understand. I have figured out that I have a weird body shape. I have basically no waist area as far as length. If I carry a gun that has a 4-inch or longer barrel inside the waistband, it's impossible for me. I've got little short legs and a long torso, basically my upper part of my body. And it's weird. Other people carry, I carried a full-size 1911. Going, man, when I carry that in IWB, the barrel is like way down practically on the middle of my butt. It's weird. And so I just can't. So 3.5-inch barrel is about the longest barrel I can carry with an inside the waistband holster. And a 3-inch is better. But my point on all that is this. Each person is different. Each person's got to figure out what he or she can carry and where and how. And it's better to be carrying something than nothing. So pick out what you can do. What are you carrying?
Well, most of the time I carry a 32 Kel-Tec in one of those wallet holsters because once I retired from law enforcement, I went into an office job, and it just wasn't convenient to carry openly anymore.
Sure. I got a suggestion for you. I mean, I'm not a real fan of the 32, and I think the 380s today are so much better, and there's no difference in size, whether it's a Kel-Tec or a Ruger LCP. There's a rig I'm going to suggest, and I got to get quickly to a break here. Something like the LCP Ruger or the Kel-Tec in 380, and there's a holster called a Recluse, R-E-C-L-U-S-E. Goes into the back pocket like a wallet. But you can just stick your hand in and come out with the gun, and it protects the trigger guard back there. Take a look at that. That's a package that I often will carry when I can't carry a full-size gun. All right, got to run here. 866-TALK-GUN. What are you carrying? What are you thinking these days? Do you ever consider the possibility that crazy may come to call?
The Ruger pistol that started it all is now even better. The Ruger Mark IV has the same great look as the Mark III, but now its simple one-button takedown means less time taking apart your gun and more time shooting it. Disassemble it in seconds for no hassle cleaning. Learn more about the Target, Hunter, and 2245 Light Mark IV series models at Ruger.com. The Ruger Mark IV, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
What's important in a gun safe? Security, reliability, safety, good looks? It all comes down to quality. Quality that's built in from the beginning. Liberty Safe has made quality products for 29 years right here in the USA. Trust your guns, your valuables, and your safety to Liberty Safe. Did you ever regret buying quality? I didn't think so. Get the best. Whatever your budget, get a Liberty Safe. LibertySafe.com.
Kind of funny, I just had an email conversation with my buddy Ron, former law enforcement. Yeah, he's been in self-defense shooting. It was ugly. It was fast. It was unexpected. He actually was surrounded by other police officers who didn't react because he was a gun guy. He was the only guy that got a shot off and stopped the attack. Everybody else is sitting there with their fingers in their noses. But he said, so what ammo you're carrying? What bullets? What? just get good stuff. When in doubt, have more ammo. When in doubt, have more gun. I realize it's always a compromise. If you followed that all the way, you'd be carrying an AR all the time. Although, may I suggest it might not be a bad idea to keep one in the car, in a locked container that you can get to if necessary, that you can fight your way back to, that you can run to. Yeah, I know, crazy talk. Oh, paranoid. Would it be paranoid if I was carrying a fire extinguisher? Would it be paranoid if I had a good medical kit? Would it be paranoid just to have what you need to stop something from going bad? Stop the fire, stop the bleeding, stop the shooting? Ron points out, my buddy says, was the movie Unforgiven? Like the deputy says, I don't want to get killed for a lack of shooting back. Line 1, Joseph's with us out of Reno, Nevada. Joseph, you have someone you want to honor.
Hello, Tom. Good to talk to you.
You bet.
I was calling to honor my son, Marine Lance Corporal Michael Williams was killed in Iraq and the third day of the war. And also, I'm a Vietnam combat veteran, and I used to be when I was in the service, I was on a pistol team for a while, and then I was a police officer for about 8 years, and that was about 40 years ago. But I was going to tell you, give you a little range report, too, that about 5 years ago I became completely blind, and so it was due to a bad doctor. But anyway, last November I decided to try to see how I could shoot. So I went down to the gun store here, and Tim, who's a former Marine, former Navy SEAL, was my instructor, and they have a simulator which shoots. You shoot a pistol, it's a 9mm, and it's set up with a CO2 system, so it shoots just like a real gun, except there's no bullets. Okay. And it was interesting that I managed to shoot 5 out of 5, 4 out of 4, and 3 out of 3 in the same hole. He said it blew him away, or blew me away too. So it can be done, but I don't think I could do it again. I'm not sure if I could, but it would be interesting.
Let me ask you, I'm curious, how do you actually get bullets on target? How does the aiming take place if you can't see?
I had him coach me, just telling me if I was on target, and then I just kept it on target after that. Wow.
That's interesting. So what's your takeaway from that? Do you have a gun for self-defense?
Yes, I do. I keep a .44 loaded with birdshot. So it's good for, close in. Generally, most time, if you get in a shootout, it's going to be within 21 feet anyway. So, and in your house, it'll probably be closer than that. But that snake shot in a 44 would probably do quite a bit of damage.
And if somebody's right on top of you and you're basically going contact shot, then it's all you need. Yeah, it'll work.
I just have to be close, so to speak.
Yeah. Joseph, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing the story of Michael, your son. We appreciate that. We appreciate his service, his loss, and your loss also. Thank you, sir. Yeah, interesting. I was just conversing with Ron, my buddy, about different guns and different things, and I said, more ammo is always good. You don't want to run out. Bigger gun is always good. We can't always do all of those things, but something we can do, and I came to this very slowly. Okay, I just did. If you want to increase the real world, big quotes, accuracy of your defensive gun, I would suggest putting a laser on it. Yeah, I know. There's all the reasons not to, because you've heard all that stuff. It's just mostly malark from people who don't know. I'm just here to tell you, in terms of putting shots on target accurately and more quickly, I don't know of anything you can do that would be more effective than that. Just my personal take from having tried it out. 866-TALK-GUN. We had a call earlier, a fellow asking about traveling across state lines with this concealed carry permit. New numbers are out. Let's see, as of late last year, the number of Americans with carry permits hit 15 million. It's probably 15.7 to 16 million by now. What's interesting, well, two things interesting about this. One is that the drivers of this increase are women and minorities, according to John Lott's group, the Crime Prevention Research Center. Said the number of women with permits has increased twice as quickly as the number of men with permits. And some evidence suggests that permit holding is increasing about 75% more quickly among minorities than among whites. Now, what's really interesting about this number of 15 million, how fast that number is growing of people getting their carry permits, is that there are a bunch of states that are now have permitless carry. That is constitutional carry, or you can carry without having a permit at all. So you would think the actual number would be going down as each state it joins the group, doesn't require the use of a permit. Just a thought. Let's see. I want to go down to Joe on line 2 at Shreveport. He's got a comment on the lasers I was just talking about. Hey, Joe, you're up.
You piqued my interest, Tom. I started shooting about 10 years ago, pistol shooting, and I remember a guy in the gun store, I said something about, what do you think about a laser? And he said, look, learn to shoot with your iron sights first, your open sights. And this, of course, we're talking about pistol training here. And so
Sure.
I have a couple of flashlights on my weapons that have lasers, but I have found them to be, and granted, I've never taken a class, and I need to take a class to understand, but can you just kind of give a synopsis? Because most of the guys I've seen on the range using a laser spend more time trying to find that little red dot. And you know how much it shakes around when you're on target.
Yep.
And they spend more time trying to perfect that instead of just seem like I can move.
I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, in the couple of minutes I got, let me tell you why, for a self-defense handgun, I think a laser is a really good thing. We've been doing first-person defender for several years now. And we keep asking people after they've been attacked and assaulted and, it's carjacking and they're getting into the shootings. We always say, did you see your sights? I have never ever had anybody say they looked at their sights. Ever. And then they often volunteered, no, but I saw that dot, I saw that laser on them. That's all I needed to see. If there's a guy with a knife coming at you, you're not looking at your front sight. You're looking at the guy with the knife. Your eye will go to the threat. It's really as simple as that. And when the laser appears on him, you go, okay, that's where the bullet's going to go. Got it. Don't have to do anything else. It reduces the headroom necessary. I mean, yes, on a range, particularly outdoors, lasers can be hard to see. Green lasers are better for that, but even indoors. And then people get all wrapped up about the lasers dancing all over the place. Yes, it is. But guess what? That's what happens. And now you're trying to make it not move when you're shooting. Let it bounce around. Squeeze the trigger, get good trigger pull. You'll find that the shots are still good. Your gun's moving that much anyway. You just can't tell when you're using iron sights. I would suggest this. Give it a try. It has been my experience that people who poo-poo them, didn't use them much or didn't use them correctly. And that was me when I started off saying, I wouldn't trust my life to anything that uses a battery. I thought I was being real clever. And then I got some training in one. I thought, well, you were just an idiot. I mean, that's a cool tool. That's an important tool. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is our parachute. This is our life-saving device. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. Really? Imagine, all right, in your Walter Mitty world, you got to make a headshot on somebody. Can you do that with your iron sights? Maybe. Can you do it with a laser sight? Almost guaranteed. If you can manipulate a trigger well. It's a game changer. I'm just telling you. It was for me. Pretty startling. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking about some advances. We're making some headway on the gun rights field, and we'll be talking about rifles because I like them.